Hey y'all, welcome back to my YouTube channel. This week I am going to be undecorating my house for Halloween. It is November 1st, and ever since the last 5 years or so, I have started to decorate a little earlier for Christmas. I used to be a hardcore don't decorate until after Thanksgiving, but I found that I just wasn't able to enjoy the lights and the decor for as long as I would like. And the kids really love seeing the tree every morning. So that is why I am taking down my Halloween and fall decor and putting up Christmas decor. So come along as I figure out a way to store all of the fun DIYs we did this year on the channel and get out my Christmas decor with me. I get a lot of questions on where my decor is from, and the good thing is a lot of it that we made this year is right here on the channel. I did a thrift with me video where I took you guys to the thrift store, picked out a few items, and upcycled them into new decor. A lot of my other decor is also thrifted or stuff I had from a very long time ago and is no longer available in places like Hobby Lobby, Target, Walmart. Those are some of my favorite places to shop. Also, Amazon is where I got these bats. But this vase right here is another DIY I did with you guys recently. And it's just kind of a mishmash of where things are from. But one of my favorite things we did this year was that little ghost painting, and it just got me excited to think of new DIYs to share and do with you guys next year. This is my first Halloween season and Christmas season having a YouTube channel, and it has been so fun. Another thing we made was this candelabra. This was at first a lamp, if I remember correctly, and now I'm going to just take off the candles and use that for Christmas decor. And I'm putting up all of my pumpkins as well. These are from mostly Target, or again, they were thrifted a long time ago. Maybe some thrown in there from Hobby Lobby, but they've kind of come from all over. And I just kind of pull out what I want to use every year. Same thing with those pumpkins. This was another thing we made, that skeleton candy bowl. Love how that turned out. And now the house is looking so bare. So I need to get going on my Christmas decorating. I'm going to leave the floating candles up for the Christmas season, and I'm just going to take down these jack-o'-lantern pumpkin luminaries that we also made. I loved looking at these every night during Halloween, and everyone would tell me in the neighborhood how they could see them from the street and how just cool they were to look at. I really enjoyed this DIY. Moving on to the decor outside, I loved the way these bats looked, but they fell down almost every time we opened the door. So I 10 out of 10 recommend them for indoors, but not so much for outdoors. So I'll probably order a new set for next year. The ghosts did awesome on the porch. They were placed in that video where we decorated the front porch. I set them up, plugged them in, and then I didn't touch them for the entire month of October, and they looked awesome. I was really happy with how the ghosts turned out. They're super easy to make. They look great. They're cheap to make. And I got so many compliments on them, and they look great at night lit up under the white tablecloths. So I will definitely be using these again next year. If you like Halloween decor at all, I highly suggest getting you some little skeletons and posing them in your front yard. These were so funny. And every time we would come home, you could see them climbing up the tree. The kids thought they were hilarious. And they were really easy to position with just a couple of nails here and there. And a bunch of people in our neighborhood seemed to do the same thing. This was not my original idea. There's a house down the street that has a huge, like 20-foot skeleton, and they added a dog this year to that. Another house did a bunch of skeletons on children's toys, and it's just fun to see everyone in the neighborhood getting involved. So we'll definitely add a few more next year. I don't know if the same can be said for these witches. They were a pain. They were constantly falling over. I used some garden fabric little poker thingies to spear them into the ground. They're very easy to place, and they just kept falling over. I'd come home and one of their heads would be weird, or someone would have messed with them, or the wind would have knocked them over. And I never really liked how they looked. They just, I don't know. If I do the witches next year, I want to do them differently. So to store them, I'm taking the hats off. I'm going to keep those. I'm going to keep the foam heads and then replace the tablecloths next year. And I'll show you where I'm going to store the tomato cages. Here is the carnage from taking down Halloween. I have stuff everywhere in the playroom and all over my office. And the only Halloween bins I have are right here. I don't think everything is going to fit, so it's time to go through and consolidate some things and figure out how we're going to store all of this in there. So I'm going to take everything out of the bins that I'm not using. So I'm just quickly going through, making sure everything that's staying is something I know I will decorate with, and not something that's been in there for years that I haven't used, like basically everything in this smaller bin. So I'm going to start a donation pile, and then I will have a little bit more room to store things in these bins. So I've got 6 of the jack-o'-lantern luminaries in here with all of the little things to light them up. I have this bin full of pumpkins and Halloween stuff, just like the bigger ones. At the bottom, I put more of the luminaries, and I was able to fit a lot of stuff inside there. That bin is almost full. I'm going to squish the hats down. And then all I have to figure out a spot for are these pumpkins and the skeletons over there. And I'm probably just going to put those in a garbage bag, and I'll show you what I'm going to do with these guys. Okay, so in this bag, I put the foam heads from the witches and some other pumpkins. And then in another bag, I'm going to put my terracotta pumpkins. But so they don't rub together and damage some of the paint, I'm going to put them in each in an individual grocery bag. And then I have a funny idea for the skeletons, because they're not going to fit in a bag or a bin. Do you get it? Skeletons in the closet? For the ghosts, I'm going to remove the tablecloths like I did for the witches. They have just kind of seen better days being outside in the elements straight for a month. They've really gotten torn up and gotten holes in them and a bunch of dirt on them. So they're cheap. I'm just going to throw these away and get new ones for next year. And I'm going to remove the lights and reuse those for Christmas decor. And then I'll show you how I'm going to store the tomato cage. And for this pumpkin, this ghost, it was the one holding the pumpkin. So I'll store those along with the foam part of the head. I'll store those in one of the other 2 garbage bags, either with the pumpkins or the witch foam heads. And then that's pretty much it. And my tomato cages, I'm coming over here. This is the front garden bed. You would have seen this in my curb appeal video. But all 5 of these cages from the witches and the ghosts, I'm just going to store them back here to grab for next year and possibly use for Christmas. So we're in my garage now, and I have 2 of these like overhead storage things, and this is all of my Christmas decor here and here, and then in the middle is where I put the Halloween and fall stuff. And I also have a couple of shelves above my wood storage. And then a couple of years ago, we built these shelves above the garage door. So those are both Christmas. This is where my tree goes, and then that's obviously Christmas. So I'm about to get all of this down and put my Halloween stuff back up here. So last but not least, here's a sneak peek at my Christmas decor. This is a new tree I got last year from Wayfair. I'll link it down below. I love it. It's a sparse looking natural tree, but obviously it's faux, so I can enjoy it a lot longer than a real tree. And it still gives me that same natural evergreen tree look that I love. I got an unlit tree, and I like doing my lights myself, and I wanted to try a new method I saw on Instagram, I think, maybe TikTok, where you put your lights on going up and down instead of, winding it around the tree. And here are my takeaways. I don't like this method. I don't think it works for a more sparse tree. It doesn't cover as much ground, and it kind of, at least the way I did it, kind of just bunched all the lights in the center. And I know my mom is going to watch this video. She watches all of my YouTube videos, and she's going to be appalled at this method. She used to spend hours putting lights on every single branch of a very full and very tall Christmas tree. So I think in her honor of her memory, I can do a little bit better than this, but I still wanted to share it in case anybody hadn't heard of this trick and it works for you. So thank you so much for coming along with me today as I undecorated my house and I started decorating for Christmas. Stay tuned next week. I'm going to share a Christmas home tour. Thanks as always for stopping by the mansion. I'll see you next time. Bye bye.